Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 15th installment of our Acadiana Business Resource Webinar Series. My name is Andre Bro, and I work on the team at One Acadiana. Our Acadiana Business Resource Partners are brought to you by business resource partners from across the Acadiana region, including One Acadiana, LEDA, the Opportunity Machine, the Louisiana Small Business Development Center at UL Lafayette, the Downtown Development Authority, Acadiana Workforce Solutions, the United Way of Acadiana, and other local chambers and economic development offices from around the Acadiana region. We have come together to support Acadiana's business community, particularly our small businesses, in response to COVID-19 by hosting a series of webinars on timely and relevant topics. Today's webinar is the 15th in the series and also the final webinar in our series, and we want to thank everyone who has participated for your engagement along the way. Our topic for today is resources to grow your small business. And we'll have a presentation by Heidi Melanson and Daryl Johnson. And after the presentation, we'll use the remaining time for Q&A. Please do use the Q&A box to interject your questions. The webinars are always better if we have engagement from our audience members. So anytime during the presentation, please interject a question. And I'll help with moderating the Q&A. So I may interrupt Daryl and Heidi at some point during their presentation if you have a question relevant to what they're presenting on. As I mentioned, our presenters for today are Daryl Johnson of LED and Heidi Melanson of the LSBDC at UL Lafayette. I'll let them introduce themselves, and I'll turn it over to Daryl first to get us started.
Well, good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you all here today. I want to thank One Acadiana for hosting us in this webinar, in addition to our partners at the Small Business Development Center. Heidi, you want to say a few words?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. My name is Heidi Melanson, and I am the Director of Louisiana Small Business Development Center at UL Lafayette. I'm excited to share information about these programs, and of course, thanks again to One Acadiana for hosting this seminar.
Good deal. So we'll start this off with resources to grow your small businesses. Next slide, please. So I'd like to begin our presentation really focusing on three buckets. So the first bucket in which we look to discuss is building capacity. So we talk about managerial and technical assistance skills to help you become a better CEO and run your business more effectively. So we start by talking about the Small and Emerging Business Development Program. You'll hear acronyms as we go through this webinar. So for short, this program is the SEBD program. In addition to that, we will then discuss the Mentor Protege Recognition Program, which is a construction management training program. And then, and then also we'll talk about that construction management training program, which is the Louisiana Contractors Accreditation Institute. Then we'll move over to Increasing Opportunity, which is focusing on our Hudson and veteran initiatives. And then we'll move on to the Bonding Assistance Program. And then lastly, we will end the conversation today with Accelerating Your Growth, really supporting our entrepreneurs who are in growth mode, who are second stage companies through our strategic market research and CEO roundtables program. But these programs are really designed to really help you throughout your phase in business, from that building capacity, increasing your opportunity, and accelerating your growth. Next slide, please. So first, we talk about the Small and Emerging Business Development Program. This program essentially provides you with managerial and technical assistance, like I said earlier, to help you with entrepreneurial training. We can even get into some marketing, accounting, business planning, etc. But the program is geared towards really helping you in that developmental stage. When we talk about this program, I like to look at it in three parts. The first part is when we're talking about one-on-one projects, which are identified by an assessment, and which I'll let Heidi talk about later on. But thereafter is training classes, and if you are SEBD certified, you can participate in SEBD training classes that are held. But additionally, this program is offered through our intermediaries who provide that assessment to you and assist you with navigating the program. Next slide, please. So when we talk about the eligibility, you must be, of course, a U.S. resident. And of course, you must be a Louisiana resident for at least 1 year. The network cannot exceed 400,000. That may not be your personal network. You may not exceed 400,000, and it must be 51% owned by that person whose network does not exceed 400,000. It excludes your personal residence. It excludes any business assets that you may have in addition to a retirement account. If you don't have this information with you handy, we provide a Excel spreadsheet. Once you're filling out this information, you can go through and it will list all those things. If you have a house or what have you, business assets, you can just input those in those fields. And at the end of it, it will tally it up to give you what your personal net worth is, and you can put that into the application period, application itself. You must be full-time within the business, and what we consider an LED full-time is managing at least 20 hours a week within your business. Business eligibility, at least 51% of the company is owned or controlled by a small and emerging business person. With that being said, you meet that owner eligibility qualifications. The principal place in business is for our Louisiana small businesses and organized for profit and lawfully, and your business network must not exceed 1.5 million. And again, the goal of economic development is to create new full-time jobs. Next slide, please. So when we talk about the SEBD program, and this program could not be done without our intermediaries on the ground. And what you see here is a list of the small and emerging business development program intermediaries. These folks are on the ground and they deliver these services. You might have heard me in the beginning talk about the buckets for our SEBD program, which consist of one-on-one projects, which is where LED would pay 50% up to $2,500, whichever is less for a one-on-one project. That one-on-one project can include many of things that are outlined by your assessment that I'll let Heidi get into. But those things are approved by LED after talking to our intermediaries on the ground. But then also you have the SEBD training component of the SEBD program. And once you're certified within the SEBD program, you can participate in any training across the state. If you are visiting family or going on a vacation in Monroe or Bossier City, and you find that there is a training class that you'd like to attend, you can certainly attend that training class because you are SEBD certified. And I don't think I mentioned this, when we talk about the application process, you know, particularly when most folks are working with government, you think that we are asking for 20 pages worth of an application. But this particular application for the SEBD program is literally 15 questions long. So it should take you no more than 10 minutes to complete the questionnaire for the SEBD certification. We ask a few minor questions that fall upon the eligibility that I've just talked about. In addition to that, you know, we get back to you within 3 to 5 business days. So it's a very quick turnaround, and then we would ask that you meet with the intermediary within your region. And I think at this point, it's a good segue to talk about number 6, the LSBDC at ULL with Heidi Malonzo.
Thank you, Darryl. Just to give you a little bit of background about how we became the intermediary and what we do as a Small Business Development Center. We offer counseling and consulting one-on-one. So primarily we're seeing our clients 2 ways. We're offering face-to-face and then also workshops and seminars that introduce topics such as business development and solutions, resources to address your operations, access to capital, market research. We spend a lot of time writing business plans for those that are going into business, securing capital, and also financial projections. And that brings us into the resources that are offered by 2 of our funding partners, SBA and LED. So of course, we're the counseling arm of these 2 particular organizations. So I guess around 2006 is when I got introduced to this particular program. I had been on the job for about a year within the Small Business Development Center. And when I found this program and a way to enhance what I'm already providing to business owners that are walking through my doors needing help with their business. This particular program, the Small and Emerging Business Development Program, is an enhancement to what I do every day. And the beauty of it is this is a program that's voted on by our legislatures every year. And what they do with the current funding is they take these funds and they divide it up amongst the intermediaries all around the state. So the fiscal responsibility that I have in administering this program is to find projects and offer training that's going to do two things. I call it kind of a selfish program for Louisiana because we want to see job growth and we want to see growth in revenue. And therefore, while we're helping your company, we're also helping Louisiana. So naturally, because I see clients one-on-one, they're walking through wanting to find out a little bit about their business, what they can do. We've already secured a loan. This is a natural program for me to use and to introduce business owners to further technical assistance that I can take out of my office and provide opportunities to business owners as well. So it's twofold. You get the help and needed in technically getting help for marketing. You may need help with human resources. But the beauty of the program is that you're getting a service and we're putting a Louisiana company to work. I love that, the idea that, hey, you know what, I'm introducing you to a company that may be a specialist in doing a website. You're getting the help in developing your website. And then those funds that we have are putting that particular business to work. And so that's the economic development that ensues from this program. And I think it's just such a beautiful concept to see that happening in our communities. So of course, when I saw that there were funds that we could leverage to help business owners, naturally, when I'm working with somebody and I'm doing a business plan, we've gotten them the funding, naturally we want to help them with their marketing. And what's positive about this particular program is the theory is let's help you with your marketing, because that's one thing that state really believes in, is to help you start on a professional footing and having a professional branding, logo, paper system. There's nothing more that gives you confidence when you can start off on that right foot and having that professional look so that you can go out into the market, promote your product and service, and do it with confidence. And so that's a great project that is one of the examples of how we use the funding. So as Darryl had spoken about an assessment. So once you get certified in the program, there is a method to the madness. So of course I have a budget, and the greatest responsibility is for me to figure out exactly how we're going to spend the money. And so of course we're going to do it by assessing you. And through the assessment, we're going to find out where you are. So there are some questions, as Darryl had related to the application, that we do ask, but there's a reason for it, because some of the reasons that we're going to do is we want to see where you are in your company so that we can help you make those decisions going forward. So as Darryl had spoken before, we help with one-on-one projects, and that could be you getting your website developed. It could be you doing your branding. And then we do it through training. In fact, right now we have a 5-part accounting QuickBooks course going on right now. That's 10 hours. So those are the ways we hire a facilitator that really will go in great detail so that you can learn these skill sets. And so if the assessment determines that's what you need, well, then that's how we're going to make those services available to you, whether it's a one-on-one project or if it's a training class. One of the most interesting things that we brought into the program, I guess about 5 years, I think this is the 6th year, is peer-to-peer learning. And this is a program that, to be quite honest, it was just like starting a business. When I did my first table, it was trying to sell it in the market. And I can tell you now, on my 6th table, it has grown tremendously. And so one of the things that we do is a peer-to-peer roundtable. And right now I have one actually on my 2nd session, and we've got 21 business owners that gather every month to actually, it's peer learning. And so what's beautiful about that is that they're helping each other, they're able to network, and they're also able to learn from a topic. And so you can think, going through this, that they're going to go over, it's about 15 to 18 business owners that get together, and I'm at 21. And so that's great to see that we've had such popularity. It's held by a trained facilitator that will go through discussions And it also includes a guest speaker every month. So that way we talk about a topic or a skill set that business owners may need help with, such as legal. They may need help with marketing. We had Greg Gotro last week, who actually talked about the macro view of the economy. And so what it does, it's a structured protocol that all of the business owners follow. And those shared experiences are really a way for business owners to help each other. And so that's a 10-session table that we go through, and it usually wraps up at the end of the fiscal year, which would be in May. So, Darryl, I'm going to let you add a little bit to that if you'd like.
Sure thing. This is really an opportunity for our small businesses, particularly our SCBD certified companies, to go through peer-to-peer learning and peer-to-peer engagement. As you heard Heidi mention, this is an opportunity for folks to sit at the table and talk about their challenges and what they face within their business. And oftentimes what you find, we make sure that we don't have competitors in the room. So you find that these folks are from different industries, from different walks of life, very diverse businesses, and you find that the commonality in most cases is people. At this stage in business, particularly within our small and emerging certified companies, most of these companies are, startup companies. Some have been around for a certain amount of time, but also are family companies. And there are some things that you may not be able to share at home. Like I'm going to tell my wife that I need to fire her brother because he's been sleeping on the job. That'll get me in the hot seat at home, and I'll be sleeping on the couch. But you find that there may be someone else who's experienced, and that's the key part of this program, is experience sharing. There may be someone else who's sitting on the table who's actually dealt with that same situation, and they can shed light on that experience and how did they overcome that experience. So this is a safe space for our business owners to really come and speak with like-minded individuals, and also learn and grow from each other, learn and grow from the expert speakers that are presenting about various topics. And again, this program and this table is ran by the participants. It is guided by the facilitator. However, if there's a topic that you need more, more substance on, or you just touched on it in one session, then, Heidi and her group are great at pivoting. And let's, hey, we talked about branding and marketing. Let's bring in a branding and marketing expert to come and talk to the group to give them more, information on it. And if it goes even deeper from there, that particular table can have a training class under the SCBD program specific to those topics that they mentioned within the table. So that's the beauty of this program within itself. And I think you did a wonderful job, and you all do a great job at ULL with the Small and Emerging Business Development Roundtable. Next slide, please. So next, we'll talk about the increasing opportunity. When we talk about the Hudson and Veteran Initiatives, I see we have a great number of participants on this morning, but if any of you are a veteran, we thank you for your service. But the Hudson Initiative provides our small businesses within the state of Louisiana with access to additional points to help them be more competitive when going after various RFPs with state government. So if you're looking to do business with state government, we have the Hudson Initiative to really help you on that end. In addition to that, for our veterans, the points have even grown a little bit more through recent legislation that just passed about 2 years ago. Next slide. So the benefits of the Hudson Initiative provides you with those 10 additional evaluation points. I personally like to look at it as 10 bonus points. When I was in school, I would love to go and speak with various teachers about bonus points because I wanted to get every point that I could. And I would apply that same thing within business. This gives you an extra leg up on the competition as it pertains to larger companies who are trying to do business with the state. But the Hudson and Veteran Initiative provides you with 10 points for Hudson and 12 points for Veteran. That recently changed about 2 years ago. Veteran used to be 10 points, but after legislation that increased to 12 points. But this is particularly important for small purchases of less than $15,000. state agencies can waive the requirement of getting additional quotes. So the key to this program is, of course, getting certified within the Hudson and Veteran Initiative, whichever applies to you, and then letting the folks know what you do as it pertains to your business. If you are a contractor, if you're a builder, or you procure, those folks are looking to procure certain services from you as it pertains to promotional products, etc. I believe you should reach out to those various Hudson and Veteran coordinators procurement coordinators within the state to let them know who you are and what you do, so that if anything comes about, such as the small purchases of less than $15,000, then they'll know who they can reach out to. So it's also about relationship building with this program as well. In addition to that, prime contractors can use our Hudson and Veterans companies as subcontractors on a bid, and they get a certain percentage of those points as well. Depends on the scope of work in which the Hudson or veteran company is doing within that project. So, state agencies are really, encouraged to participate within this program, to look for our Hudson and veteran companies. They've been mandated by the governor to increase the amount of Hudson and veteran companies that are being used for various jobs. So they have goals to utilize our Hudson and veteran companies. Next slide, please. So when we talk about the eligibility, of course, this is for our Louisiana companies and employees. You must have fewer than 50 full-time employees, and your annual gross receipts do not exceed 5 million for non-construction and 10 million for construction companies. So for non-construction businesses, the Veteran Initiative this was a part of this legislation, requires that the average annual gross receipts must not exceed 6 million. The business must be independently and owned and operated. And of course, this is for our Louisiana residents, Louisiana businesses. And as it pertains to the veteran ownership, we asked this question on the application. And by the way, this is on the same application pool in which you go to apply to the SCVD program. You can click a button to apply to the Hudson Initiative, and there are some questions within that same questionnaire that apply to these programs. So at least 51% of the business must be owned by a veteran or service-connected disabled veteran. So the question that we'll just ask is for you to provide I believe it's DD 214 at the time that you apply to this program. Next slide, please. So this is another initiative that was put forth, LA Veterans First. This program is essentially a database that's collected of our veterans, active duty, reserve, Gold Star spouse, etc. If you are a business and you are a veteran-owned business, here are the steps to the right to certify in this program. It's more so a recognition program to have you be recognized and placed on this website. So if there are folks who are looking to patronize your business, they can also visit laveteransfirst.org to get a list of veteran-owned businesses within the state. Next slide, please. Oh, well, I do want to mention this. Although we lost, I saw Drew Brees right there in the picture, but it's still who that in my heart after the football game on last night. So next, we'll talk about our mentor protege recognition program. This is a program that we brought back under this administration, really geared towards connecting our small and emerging business development companies to large driver companies. And some of the companies that we have recognized, Chenier, I really don't have the list available to me, but these are large driver companies that are within our state. Basically, the process is you apply to this program by way of the application. LED does not select the protege for this company. It is incumbent upon the mentor to select a protege out of the protege pool. So essentially, this is starting a foundation relationship with these large businesses. They're in turn helping you with technical and managerial assistance, to help you build your capacity to really compete for, those public and private jobs. The eligibility is simple. You must be in good standing with the Secretary of State. and you must be certified within the SEBD program. And if you have any questions about this program, you can most definitely reach out to me, or I can get you in touch with the program manager who's lead on this program. Next slide, please. So next, we'll talk about the Louisiana Contractors Accreditation Institute. This particular institute provides our small businesses, construction businesses, with assistance, really understanding the knowledge of running their business within the construction industry. You know, when we first started this thing off, we had the business and law seminar, was really focused on understanding the legal and business component of construction. We've branched that out within the Institute to also include the general contractor seminar, which I believe will be starting up soon, sometime in October. So you can visit the website to apply to this program. This program is essentially housed within our community and technical colleges. So we have a list of participating colleges who are participating in this program by way of distant learning. So it's essentially what happens is you would show up to, as you see in this room, this particular location, and there is a screen where you are able to view the teacher in real time and ask questions with a live proctor in the room as well. And these are video broadcasts from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We bring in expert speakers as well to come and talk with our companies within this program to help them better understand the various components, as we talk about general contractor seminar, as we talk about the business and law seminar, and the residential contractor seminar, which is a newer one that's been placed within this institute. Next slide, please. And then also, as a construction company, and you're looking to grow and do larger jobs, you know, sometimes bonding capacity may come in place. So we have a bonding assistance program, which essentially increases your bonding capacity of the small businesses. So it provides you with access to quality bid, payment, and performance bonds at reasonable rates from the surety companies. So we offer 25% of the contract price, or $100,000, whichever is less. This program is really geared towards, you know, helping mitigate some of the risk to the surety company, which ultimately may lead to a positive underwriting decision. But essentially, this program is geared towards helping you really get your footing when we talk about bonding, and also having a better relationship, building that relationship with surety companies. Point in case, one particular individual who's utilized, company who's utilized this program, started out, you know, with a small job and looking to really, you know, get his name out there as it pertains to his business and type of work that he did. That ultimately led him to, you know, graduating out of the bonding assistance program and being able to work directly with the surety company, because he's built that rapport, you know, over the course of years, and showing that he was able to make sure that the job went fluent and all things were on time, et cetera. So this program is really, you know, geared to helping you with managing that relationship with the surety company, so that you can go out on your own and get the bonding that you need. Sureties provide all of the underwriting. LED does not get involved in that. We have a list of our surety agents that we utilize on the website, and you can most definitely visit that website if you have any more questions regarding that program. Next slide, please. All right, so second stage. I particularly work with second stage companies. It's pretty much my primary focus within LED small business. But second stage, and what LED defines as second stage, of course, this is for our Louisiana small businesses, but the company must have at least 600,000 in revenue and at least 5 full-time equivalent employees. Particularly, these companies are looking to are dealing with external markets. So looking to, you know, go outside your company's local market and really demonstrate your capacity to do so. And when we talk about industries, we particularly exclude restaurant and retail from the second stage suite of programs, particularly, and also we exclude nonprofits. So the company must be organized for profit in order to be considered second stage for second stage program. Next slide, please. So first, I'll talk about our strategic market research program. This is one which is the economic gardening program. It provides you with exactly what it says, high level market research to help you make the best decision on what markets you should entertain and which markets you should not. Particularly, we provide up to 36 hours of strategic market research within this program. You get access to a 4-person team. That first person is a team leader, which is the strategy specialist. I like to look at this person as the quarterback to make sure that everything is going smoothly. Everyone understands the scope of work for the engagement. Thereafter, you get access to a market research specialist. That person is looking at trends, facts, statistics, et cetera. And geographic information system specialist is another specialist looking at list maps and really understanding geography, as far as the geography of the place that you're looking to expand into. And then lastly, we have the digital marketing specialist. This person used to be called the SEO specialist, but what we finally understand is that digital marketing is all things online. When we talk about SEO, we talk about Google AdWords, pay-per-click, et cetera. This person can really dive into those areas as well. So we're really looking at and reviewing, your core strategies, understanding your threats, opportunities, the SWOT analysis, if you will, to really understand where those business development opportunities may be for your company. Essentially, companies come within this program to have a conversation with myself and my colleague to really discuss 3 business issues surrounding that 4-person team that I mentioned. So basically, we would have a conversation that lasts probably about an hour to really understand your business and what type of clients you're looking to go after. Maybe you understand your client base and you're just trying to move into another area, or you're looking to develop or you have developed a new product and you're looking to push that out, et cetera. So if you fit the criteria and the eligibility for second stage programming, this is one program that is available to you. Feel free to give me a call.
Really, Darryl, I wanted to just interject
Sure.
on this program. I was just thinking of some of the success stories, and not too long ago, I had a contact from a woman-owned engineering company that actually landed a contract in Indiana. And if it wasn't for that program, it probably would have never evolved. And so there's numerous success stories that have come out of this program that I think is really a win for Louisiana, because it's a way for them to immediately grow outside of this market.
Most definitely, and that's a great point, Heidi. I think of one in particular that is most noticeable is Waiter. Waiter utilized the program to really help them understand various markets that they were looking to grow into. And we knowing that they were based out of Lake Charles, they were looking to grow outside of Louisiana into different markets that were untouched at the time. So one of my colleagues have dealt with them within this program and helped them grow their business, and they're publicly traded, and everybody knows the rest of the history there. Next slide, please. And last but not least, within the second stage suite of programs, and I think I saw on this list that Troy Wayman is here. Glad to see you here, Troy. But One Acadiana is instrumental within the Acadiana region with the CEO Roundtables program. I particularly manage this program as well as it pertains to peer-to-peer learning. So we talked about peer-to-peer learning within our small and emerging business development program geared towards our small and emerging companies. But we have the CEO roundtables for our second stage companies. And often what we find is that the folks that are in our peer-to-peer roundtable with Heidi often graduate from that table, grow their business, and they become eligible to participate in our CEO roundtables program. So this is a peer-to-peer learning program in which we get 15 to 18 qualified CEOs to participate, and they meet once per month for a total of 4 hours to work on their business rather than in their business. Again, we bring in expert speakers, resource partners to help you understand the various resources that are available to you, but really diving into your business and understanding, from a standpoint of operational efficiency. We can really get into some strategic planning, some things that you're looking out for, 5 to 10 years, where do you see your business, et cetera. But it is led by an experienced facilitator within the Acadiana region. Elise Bachner of Accelerant is the facilitator within the Acadiana region, and she does a great job with our CEOs there. But again, this program is a very competitive program as it pertains to selecting 15 to 18 qualified companies. We may get 20, 30 applications, but at the end of the day, the vetting committee will select 15 to 18 companies to participate. We have just set the fiscal year 2021 class of CEO roundtables within the Acadiana region. That application period opens February 1 of next year and will close March 31st. But this program is really geared towards helping you accelerate your growth. And if you meet the qualifications for this program, feel free to reach out and ask any questions if you may have them, and feel free to apply. I think our last slide here is contact information. This is all the contact information for our small business services staff. In the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see my name, Darrell L. Johnson Jr., Program Manager. This is my email address and my number. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I'm sure we'll be able to provide Heidi Malonzo's contact information to you, either in the chat or something like that. But I think at this point, Andre, we're going to open for any questions.
That's right. So we had one question come in through the chat bot so far about the whether the information, the PowerPoint and the video are going to be shared afterwards. And yes, they will. Within 24 hours after the presentation, we'll send everyone an email with the information, and we'll also post it on our website at oneacadiana.org/webinars. And we'll share Heidi and Darrell's contact information with everyone as well. If anyone has questions right now on any of the programs, please do submit your questions through the Q&A feature. We have some time now for question and answer with our presenters. And David asks, David Laughlin is asking about more training that's available. I don't know if y'all would want to take that question, or I can also allow David to chime in if he wants to provide more information.
Yeah, so the way the training works, I'll just say a lot of it is coming from those that are enrolled in the Small and Emerging Business Development Program. Typically, after we have an existing training, we'll ask for feedback, and people will say, hey, I need help with that, even if somebody makes a call to me or it's divulged during a counseling session. Typically, it's topics that rise to the top, and I can tell you it's usually focused on finances, accounting, any type of marketing, in-depth marketing training. And we did one on HubSpot. We've had Jackie Russo that's going into deep dive on branding. And like right now we're doing accounting. It's a 10-hour accounting training that we have that's taking place via Zoom, 2 hours a week. And what's nice is you can sign on, participate, and still go back to your work. And so typically that's how we come up with the training topics. And anybody has a suggestion, we're open to sponsoring and finding that trainer.
The next question is from Connie, and I believe Darrell's going to take this question. She asked, throughout the program, the word certified has been shared. What is the certified program, and how do you become certified?
Sure. So this program, when we talk about the Small and Emerging Business Development Program, you can apply to that program by visiting ledsmallbiz.com. It's a 15 questionnaire. And the certification, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, Heidi, but the certification is a 10-year certification. So once you're certified for 10 years, which is why it is imperative to really take advantage of the program for the duration of the program, because once that time sunsets, it is gone. But to your question, this program is just to certify you as a small and emerging business. If you meet those qualifiers of being your personal net worth does not exceed 400,000, your business net worth does not exceed 1.5 million, then you can potentially be certified within this program, and it's just by visiting that website. I hope that answers your question.
The next question is from Tabitha. Tabitha asks, what are the requirements to participate in the economic gardening program? She's highly interested in that service.
Awesome. As it pertains to the requirements for economic gardening, again, you must fit the second stage profile. So the second stage profile is at least 600,000 in revenue, with at least 5 full-time equivalent employees. And of course, you're tapping into external markets, and you're not, we particularly exclude retail and restaurant from our second stage programming. So if you meet at least 600,000 in revenue and at least 5 full-time equivalent employees, that can include yourself, then feel free to reach out. We can have a conversation.
You get a lot of useful information, and hence you want 5 people because you want to act on the information that you're receiving back from the marketers and implement that into a plan.
Certainly.
The next question is from Tony. She says, my husband and I are starting a small business, but both have full-time jobs. Did you say that the business has to have a full-time employee to participate in the program?
Not at all. If you are thinking about your business for 20 hours a week, you're working on that business, you can qualify from that standpoint. So it's great that you all are starting a business. Congratulations to you. That is a brave first step. But we do understand that most small businesses, when they're starting out, still have full-time jobs. So if you're working on your business for 20 hours a week, and that includes thinking about, your business plan and your structure, all that great stuff, then, that fits within the qualifications, and you can certainly apply to participate in that program. And once you're certified, feel free to reach out to Heidi Malonzo's group to set up that initial assessment.
All right, we still have time for more questions. If you have questions, please enter them in the Q&A box. And while waiting on any more questions, I'll just ask Heidi, you touched on one success story earlier. Would y'all mind each providing another success story or two?
Sure. I mean, we've had a downturn in our oil and gas, and one of them that's really remarkable is flanges are used readily in the oil and gas industry, and they can also be used on cruise ships. So that's a really great example of how a business owner has been able to diversify into other markets. And really, there's been a lot of demand for the program recently, mainly because we're coming in contact with businesses that are having to rethink how they sell to the current market and expand. And so that is one that I think about often, is selling flanges in different industries. And so the engineer is another one, and like Daryl may want to add one too.
Sure thing. Particularly, within the businesses within the Acadiana region, what we've seen is a lot of folks are looking to diversify the particular industries that they're serving. Some things can be cross-sold, if you will. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm selling pipes and valves to the oil and gas industry. However, everyone has a pipe and valve. I can sell to the marine industry, et cetera. So there are various ways to utilize the programs that are here, and these programs are free of charge. I didn't mention that, but they are free of charge, indirectly paid by your taxpayer dollars, but they're free of charge to you. But when we talk about the SCBD programs, the cost sharing program that we mentioned earlier, that LED will pay 50% up to $2,500 of a project, whichever is less. And those things can most definitely be worked out with Heidi as it pertains to one-on-one projects.
Absolutely. And even on the certification, no one is left alone. If anybody needs help with the certification, the application, and even explaining the program, a lot of times it does resonate one-on-one because it's so particular to your business. And so you may do something different for a funeral home as what you would do for someone in an industrial setting. And so hence the reason for the assessment is to determine what's great for your company.
Well, that seems to be it for the questions. Heidi and Daryl, would y'all want to provide any parting thoughts before we close out?
Sure. I mean, I'm happy to go over any of these programs. That's probably one of the favorite things I do love, is to enlighten what your tax dollars paid for. I think it's important for people to know, and we're very cognizant that the layperson doesn't necessarily know these programs in and out. I deal with them. I've been doing this for 14 years, so there's nothing I like better than to sit down. I'll have a Zoom meeting with you and explain in detail of how you can use the programs. Sometimes it's going to fit your company now, but remember, it's a 10-year certification. So if you can't take advantage of it now, it may be that you're in the 3rd or 4th year and you need help with progression because you're hiring people. And so that's the reason, that's the beauty of the program. It may not fit you in the beginning, but there's always something for you through the 10-year certification.
Certainly. And lastly, I'll say, Heidi Malonzo and the ULL Small Business Development Center is one of the best, in the state. I really appreciate working with them. I appreciate working with One Acadiana, Troy Wayman, Rebecca, Shirley, Danielle. All of you all are great. Particularly, Acadiana has a nice place in my heart. Although I am a Tiger and a Jag, my little sister is a Raging Cajun. She'll be graduating pretty soon. But I really enjoy working with the Acadiana region and always willing to help any way that we can through our small business services programs. And lastly, I'll say this particular suite of resources has been named #1 in what we do by IEDC in last October. So this is, could not be done without our partners such as One Acadiana and Heidi Malonzo with Small Business Development Center. So we greatly appreciate you all, especially spreading the word out about these programs, because, as we know, people perish for the lack of knowledge. And this is a great way to help everyone understand the programs that are available to them at sometimes no cost to them. So thank you, Andre. Appreciate that.
Thank you all, and lots of shout outs coming through the chat and Q&A for y'all, the help y'all provide to businesses. And it is a great team that we have working with y'all and other partners in the Acadiana region, and we want to help all of us do. So please do reach out to Heidi or Daryl, or if we can help assist along the way. I saw Corey Jack chime in the chat as well, and we work with Corey assisting small businesses as well. If you want to have a conversation with someone before going to Heidi or Daryl, One Acadiana can help with that. So thank you again to Daryl Johnson and Heidi Malonzo for the informative presentation today. The slide deck, the recording, the contact information will all be shared within 24 hours after the webinar with you via email and on our website. And we want to thank everyone again for your participation in our Acadiana Business Resource Webinar Series, which we're bringing to a close today. And I think we ended on a high note. So thank y'all again, and please stay safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.